Ladies and gentlemen, there is only so much torture a human can take. Eventually, humans will break. It is very well known around the world, certain torture mechanisms to get people to the point where they'll do whatever you want and more. When it comes to trading, we are being taught that we need to know how to suffer losses. Now, while losses are definitely something that happens practically for most people, almost always, most people daily, myself being one of those people, that doesn't mean you need to have losing days. And that doesn't mean your losses have to be big and your wins could be huge. Psychologically speaking, over the past, man, am I really going on 14 years? 14 years as a broadcaster. I've evolved over time to really learn what traders can really go through and not go through. You see, you're pretty much taught from day one that you have to take a certain amount of pain for a certain amount of reward. It's very simple. I will give you a huge plate of cookies, but if you're wrong, I'm going to punch you in the nose. Over time, those punches can lead to more severe things. If you don't believe me that little punches can hurt after a while, even if they're light, like just like this, try taking your arm and just going with the same strength. Do it 200 times, and it will be excruciatingly painful. That is what happens with traders. That is why being able to accept certain losses don't work in the long run. A lot of traders try these methodologies, and if they do work, even if they do early on, they'll just suddenly start losing money later and they'll have no idea why. Because the human body was not meant to keep getting punched and punched and punched and punched over again. It just doesn't work. So I wanted to teach you guys one simple trick today that is going to increase your hit rate. Something that I've noticed over the years with many traders, something that I've noticed in myself. Is there really a way to simply increase your risk reward? I believe the answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Kindly pause and read this entire disclaimer. Memorize a new language and then read it again in said such language, and then only then may you hit play. Thank you very much for reading that. All right, so let's get right into the meat and potatoes of things. So we're taught, certain candlestick methodologies of good times to go long and short, and some people, they get really caught up in things. And I'll tell you, just being a Newsbeat Live member, it's kind of crazy how, and I'll pull up a chart that just looks a lot simpler, yeah, just with the candlesticks. It feels just kind of crazy here that you know how we sort of make money on a day in and day out basis. It almost just gets to the point where it just like feels like you're not even trying anymore. It's kind of weird. So what I want you to do is if you have like a TC2000, there's an easy way to do it. There's a way that if you just right click and it works with freestockcharts.com as well. You could do anything you want. And inside the price dial, I mean, you could do this without this charting software. Inside here, you could there's a little button here that shows today's open line right over there. And you can make it, anything you want. You could use yesterday's close line as well. And what it does is, you can make it very bright if you want. And what it does is it shows you where we opened today. But more importantly is I want you to take the first 5 minute bar and just sort of just draw a line sideways. And it's kind of weird and it works really well. Bear with me. I'm going to show you something that's going to change your life. Bear with me. I'm going to show you something that's going to change your life. Let's just take it to a 1 minute and then I'm going to draw. So here's a 1 minute chart of Tesla today. A name that, a lot of us trade daily. And I'm going to show you what it's like to use the free education taught by the Newsbeat Live Room Myself and more people here in T3 would argue, people in the chat rooms, that it's the best education that T3 has in terms of wanting to make money. And let me show you exactly something here. And by the way, we do teach you here for free. We give you this education for free. So right here is a 1-minute chart of Tesla. What I want you to do is look, and I'm going to teach you for free, for free. It's all free. I just need your time. Right over there is the first 1-minute bar of Tesla, right? Right? Rhetorical question. The answer is yes. What I want you to do is I simply want you to draw a line going sideways and from the top and another line going sideways from the bottom. Now here's what I'm saying. You'll only have this answer after the first 1-minute bar closes. So at 9:31 a.m. Eastern Standard, you have all this information. Here's the thing. What I am saying is inside here is all mess. Trying to go long or short inside here is a headache. Granted, if you are going long in there and the stock pops up like this, you could have made a lot of money, right? You could have made a lot of money. So why shouldn't you be going long inside this range? Because the truth is, it doesn't really matter what you're doing as long as you're consistently profitable. My goal for 2021, just so we're clear, so you can understand where I'm coming from, I'm hoping to have 5 or less losing days this year. This year. Just so we're clear. Like, really making money, if you don't know what you're doing, is hard. Once you know what you're doing, making money is the easiest thing in the world to me. And hundreds of others from what I can tell inside the Newsbeat live service. And I want to show you one of the things that we do. So inside this range, right over here, inside this range, this is where trading becomes difficult. This is the difficult range. And what we're basically waiting for inside this range over here is we're waiting for the stock to either break out or break down. So it breaks out pretty much right over here, right? And you're pretty much like saying, okay, once you are trading above this yellow line, the top yellow line here, which I put at the top of the 1-minute bar and the bottom, life becomes easy. Because after it shoots up and closes, we could start applying our methodologies. Let me show you. So, by the way, we teach you anything I'm about to say. By being a member of this room, you have this information to you for free. And I am telling you, it is by far the most effective education that I have ever seen in my entire life. And I have the largest room here at T3 Live agreeing with that concept as well. So I'm not coming to a point of boasting. You know, if you don't want to go to the link in the description and join the service, don't. I'm going to hook you up for free. Okay. So right over here, we have a Mark 1 strategy where we're literally looking to buy. And if you don't know what it is, again, I told you, this is where, you know, you could have had the first buy in Tesla today. And you might look and say, this is a 1-minute bar, just so we're clear. And we're talking very short-term trades as well and why it's so consistent. So you might look at this bar and say, what's the big deal? It's not that much, right? Look at it. Look at it. Look at that 1-minute bar. I mean, how much could you really humanly make? It's not a big deal. Well, utilizing our front run strategy, this stock broke through. Tesla is what I mean by this stock. It broke through the top here of 733.24 to 734.85. It literally went up $1.61. And if you front ran it properly, you probably could have made about $2. Now you might be sitting there thinking, $2, Mark, that's nothing in Tesla. And you're right. But that's the beautiful thing too. It is nothing for Tesla. If you take a look at some of Tesla's bars, right over here was a $4.68 bar in Tesla. And right over here is a $3.20 bar, and I'll just round off from now on. And this was a 5.5 point bar, and this is, a $2.30 bar. So you look at this right over here, and you don't really think much of this. It doesn't mean a lot. It's just sort of sitting there and chilling. But what if I told you, and I'm not logged into my software right now, but what if I told you a little move like that could have netted me, just guessing, I'm not going to go over every single one of my trades and match them up with the times and sales. What if this little 1 minute bar here, just sitting here doing nothing, waiting for this 1 minute bar, what if that is the bar that made me two, three, $4,000? You'd probably be sitting there and think that's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. What kind of position would I need? How much money? I mean, Tesla, it's a $730 plus stock. I mean, how do you make that sort of money? I mean, you would probably be sitting there thinking, all right, well, it moved $2. If this Melnick dude over here caught $1 on it and he made $3,000 even, let's say, he would need 1,500 shares, right? Or excuse me, 3,000 shares to make $1, and that would net you $3,000 on a quick move like that. And you would probably sit there and you would say approximately $730, and you would say, well, times 3,000, you'd say, oh my God, I need 2.1 million in buying power. Even if I don't have that money, just the buying power to do this trade. And that would be the opposite of correct. Because I'm actually trading options as I would the common stock. I trade options as if it were a common, like the same way I would treat the common stock. I trade options as a way for leverage. So I'm not sitting there worrying how many weeks do I have to go out. It's always the earliest expiration. Which strike should I take? What has the best alpha, beta, theta, schmeta, delta, felta, kappa, felta, whatever it is. I don't follow the Greeks. I don't know. All it is to me is a bid and offer. Just like the common stock, there's a bid, there's an offer. I take the first strike as a generalization, I take the first strike out of the money. So for example, right over here, when the stock was, in the 732, 733 range, I was looking at the $735 Tesla calls expiring this week, the first one out of the money. And my software automatically pulls it up so I don't even have to search for it. And I don't care what the alpha, beta, theta, schmeta, you know, this COVID thing made people gain a lot of weight. It doesn't really matter. All these things are completely irrelevant. And granted, it's a Tuesday. And what I'm saying is if I took a $15 call strike, which costs $1,500, just so we're clear, a $1,500 call strike, a $15 call strike, which costs $1,500 per contract, and I took, you know, uh, even let's just make it up 10 of those contracts, I would need $15,000 in buying power in order to execute this trade. Much different than 2.1 million. And if I were to take 30 contracts, I would need $45,000 in buying power. Now, the way, again, you could speak to your own broker. The way this works is the cash can clear instantly if you're above PDT and you do the right form of account. Again, I can't comment on your broker, what they do, but whatever I say here, just call your broker and see if it works or not. But pretty much you get the money back just like you would normal buying power. So if you have $500,000 in buying power and you bought 2,000 shares, of Apple over here at $130, you might say, all right, that costs 260,000. But once you sell the Apple, you have all the buying power back. The same thing is true with options. So in order to buy and sell 1,000 shares of Apple 100 times a day, you could do it with $130,000, $140,000 per se. You don't need, $500 million to sit there and buy and sell 1,000 shares of Apple all day. The same thing is true with options. So on this little move can generate thousands of dollars. And I'm, just giving you like one example. And not only that, you might say, well, why this bar? Why this bar right here? What made this bar special? There's something that made this one bar here very special. I will teach you that for free inside the room. But going back to what I was teaching you for free, is as long as what I realized is traders who make the most amount of money, traders who make the most amount of money, they're usually long stocks that are trading above the first 1 minute high, and they're short stocks trading below the first 1 minute low. You see, right here in this difficult range, as I so eloquently called it over here, this is the range where people get chopped up. This is the range where people get chopped up. And my argument is you didn't even have to be part of even this pop up right here. Maybe you'll find something that would have made you want to buy, this, pop up candle that, popped up and exploded right here. But this could have been your first trade today using my methodologies. And this little nothing trade had a lot in my experience. Everyone's experience obviously can be whatever they are, different. In my experience, that was a very simple trade. And it could generate thousands and thousands of dollars. And it looks like nothing. It's disguised like nothing, but it tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. And that's just sort of my trick. And if you go back and you look at the trades you lost on today, I will guarantee you this as a generalization. If you go back and look at your trades that you lost on, ask yourself, were you trying to buy the pullbacks over here? And I'm using Tesla as a stupid example. Use any stock that you were trading. I don't know. You could have traded anything. Were you going long stocks that were trading and holding above the first 1 minute range? Were you shorting stocks and holding short stocks that were trading below the first 1 minute range? You see, over the past 21 years that I was a trader, I used to do things a lot differently. I used to always be the person looking to call the bottoms, the tops, and I still can do that fairly well. The problem is it's not as consistent as what I'm showing you. So for me, the importance is not just you making money, but how you're making money. Is it something that's sustainable for the potential long run? And looking for a stock that's trading above the 1 minute high to go long and looking for a stock to trade below the 1 minute low to go short is a very simple way of doing almost anything, I feel. And if you're sitting there patiently waiting instead of worrying that you're going to miss every move, you're going to be a better trader. I used to be the trader, and a lot of you can relate with this. I know, allow me to demonstrate. How many of you guys out there, you look at a stock, you are bullish in the morning, and then when you look at it at the end of the day, it's closing near the top, and you're pissed that you missed it. You start looking at the charts. You start saying, what could have I done to caught this? What could have I done to caught this move over here? The truth is, you know, I used to think like that too, and it's a very toxic way of thinking. I got a better one for you. Your opinion only matters before you enter a trade. Once you enter a trade, anything you felt, anything you thought, throw out the window. The market's going to do whatever it wants with you. You're not going to impose your will. And the market's not going to be like, oh, there goes Jim long the stock. We can't go down now, guys. Let's go up. It's not personal to you. Okay? It's nothing personal. And I'm not coming from a place of putting on a phony smile and, flashing you numbers. But I'm coming from a place where I am trying to create the largest group of consistently profitable traders, if I haven't already, which I probably have on the planet, and continuing to looking to expand upon that. If you read literally my goals for 2021 was to give 3 times more money to charities this year as I did last year. And the people that are making money around me, they're going to share that generosity. We are going to make the world a better place. Because as much as you think you're doing something noble and as much as you love trading, excuse my language, you're doing absolute shit for the world as a trader. You're doing nothing. But Mark, I'm supporting my family. Yes, that is something very noble. I agree with you, but you're not doing anything. But here's the beautiful part about it. The fact that you're taking care of your family with your money is doing something with it. The fact that you're giving to charities, you can assign it for good. You can actually make trading a beneficial thing for the world. You understand me? You don't have to be like some people who they make money and it's like, what are you going to do? I'm going to buy a Death Star and it's going to float above the earth. And as soon as I don't like the earth one day, I'm going to hit the big red button and poof, that's it. You have the power to do something very positive for the world. That's why I'm sharing these strategies with you. Again, you want to go to the link in the description, join T3's #1 trading service, be my guest. You don't? I'm fine with that. But I want you to be successful. I want you to be a good person. And I want to make 2021 the greatest year of your career. Give yourself purpose. Give yourself consistent money. Take care of yourself and the people around you. And when you have extra, give to others who are less fortunate than you. And if you do things like that, your trading will have a purpose. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, without a purpose, you're not going to be able to achieve profitability in the first place. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat.